Hello, everybody. Today is one of those no announcements suddenly go live day. And this is Kevin Chan, 7:30 in the morning again. And we are going to continue with the December month. Yes, this particular month, QiMen Forecast. Don't forget, we still got 2 months to go before the completion of the year of the dragon. Please don't abandon the year. Right? So no, I know everybody is currently rushing to look for content that talks about 2025. Right? So we have also just completed the 2025 12 animal science content, right? So if you want to look at all the 12 animal and their Sensha auxiliary star, feel free to go and look for the 2025 forecast. Hello, Lai Ping, how are you doing? First one to join in. Now we know that the Facebook notification work for some people. Okay, right. So we have just entered into the December month. We entered it on the 6th. Today is 11, right? So a few days already, right? So we still gonna go through it, right? So now take a look at what are the QiMen side of the forecast, right? So how can you use QiMen to help yourself in terms of planning for this particular month? So I know a lot of people would have used this particular month to plan for next year actually, right? So but doesn't matter, right? So as long as you are planning for your year, using the energy, for whatever purpose that is required, that's great. Come, let's take a look at what happened. Let me just shrink myself down to the smaller version so that I don't block too much of the screen. Right, so as usual, want to get in touch with me, either you can go for Telegram, you can join the Telegram group, you can go for Substack, which is a newsletter, right? By the way, the monthly forecast will actually be published in the newsletter. Right, so and also Facebook page, which is this particular page that you are looking at right now. It's a community page. You can post anything that you like, ask questions. Hello, Paul David, how are you doing? Right, so hello, master at all things. Okay, get in touch with me in any one of these channels. It's basically fine, up to you, right? So next thing is if you need to print your destiny, right? So QiMen destiny chart, right? So you can use Typing Astro to do so, right? So go to Typing Astro. The free version would have given you access to this, right? So no worried about that, right? So after that, you go and find where is your destiny palace. So this is one way of reading QiMen. This is just one of many way of reading QiMen, is to go and find your destiny palace. So destiny palace is your home base, right? So anything that land into the destiny palace would basically govern a certain thoughts, right? So the QiMen actually will affect your mindset, right? It affect your mindset, the way that you think, how you see the future, right? So that's it, right? So go and find that particular palace and go and see what is visiting your palace for this particular month. For those of you who are more advanced, you can see that every palace represents different areas. So if let's say that you're more concerned about wealth related matter, right? So for this one, if you take a look, that the wealth palace is actually in the east. So then you take a look at what is visiting the east palace. Right, so it's that simple only, right? So but for today, for those of you who are very newbie, right? So just go and find where your destiny palace is, and then see what is the stars, doors that is visiting this particular palace. So then what happened is that we have the monthly chart. So these are called the monthly chart. So every month, all the component will shift to different places. So it's pretty fair. So throughout the year, you will be visited by all the components, by the way, right? So towards the entire year, 12 months, so there's 12 different charts there is. You will be visited by every single component on every single palace. So this is very fair, all of it basically go. So the question usually is, how do you utilize the energy on it, right? So every month, you get different opportunity to do things. Right, so we'll go through all the 8 palaces and take a look at what are the opportunity or what are the threats that is available, right? So where you want to use, how you want to use the energy is all up to you, right? So because I don't know what is your objective, all right? So that's why it cannot be a targeted consult. This one can only be a generalized advice for you, right? So month of December is the month of the rat. Right, so the rat belong to the north sector, right? So then we will go into the north sector to take a look at what is in the north sector. Right, so let's take a look. All right, so let's go into the north sector, right? So the north sector, if you take a look at this, overall, if you take a look, overall should be pretty okay, right? So start off with the deities first. Now, tiger deity is always a sign of exertion, right? So tiger deity is a sign of exertion, which means that you are probably doing something too hard, right? You're probably doing something too hard, right? So like this exertion is together with the scenery, so you are probably showing people things in a too hard of a manner, you know? So it's basically called pushy, right? So it's basically called pushy. So of course, you know, if you take a look, the combination of scenery and assistant is a very good combination in terms of educating people. So you are trying to show people certain thing that's probably, you know, because it's end of the year, right? So you are trying to show people what you have done for the entire year. Right, it's a good review, it's a good review, you know, and tell people, you know, what is being done for the entire year. You are, you know, mentally, that's the way that you are thinking. I just put it in a way, right? So mentally, that's the way you're thinking. So you'll be able to show people what you've done in the entire year. But you are overdoing it, right? So overdoing it, the exertion is overdoing it. It's like you are trying to force people to see what you are doing. Right, so that's what the tiger is, right? So then if you know this is the situation, right? So let's not be too forceful with the situation, or else, you know, you're the one getting angry. You know, that particular situation, can't you see that I'm doing this thing for you? That particular feeling is the tiger scenery style, right? That particular frustration of trying to push things through, right? So you have that particular frustration. So if you know that, you know, that's the thing, chill end of year, man, right? Why you need to be like, you know, so super concerned over the situation? So if you take a look at the hexagram, right? So it's a family hexagram. So family hexagram talking about togetherness. So which is good with disseminating situation thing, right? So then there's go to fellowship. So there are going to be people who are going to be in agreement with you. So fellowship means that people are following your step. Right, but you don't need to force everybody to be in agreement with you, man. Even in a family also, do you think your family member all agree with you? I mean, no, man, they don't. Right, so there are going to be those who is in agreement with you. There are going to be those who's not in agreement with you. You know, let things be. Right, so you know, no need to be too tense with whatever that's happening. Right, so you do your stuff. You do your stuff. You know, you go and show people, you know, the stuff that you are showing people. You know, that's it, done. Okay, right, stay chill, right? You know, don't go too over the board with trying to show, right? So again, with the tiger star there, sometimes over exertion, you know, you might get burnout, right? So just be careful of that. But at the same time, also the tiger star give you the courage to do things that you previously are not courageous enough to do, right? So that's there, right? So if you're looking for breakthrough, great, right? So breakthrough, you know, breakthrough in learning, great. Right, so hello San Devantus, right? So hello Eileen, right? So next one, let's take a look at Northeast. Northeast look pretty good, right? So look pretty good. The only black color thing is the death door, right? So again, death door do not actually mean that things die. Death door mean that it's a completion of a chapter, right? Completion of a chapter, which means it's gonna be the beginning of another new chapter for you, right? So no, now those of you who are in a relationship, you know, there are some of you who are very relationship centric, right? So not everything is paktor, everything is love in your life one, right? So harmony with the death door mean that certain relationships supposed to come to an end. Now for me, I always say that, you know, when you talk about harmony, it's not just the paktor love thingy, you know. So it could be a just a simple what we call partnership that's come to an end, right? So it could be a end of a friendship, I don't know, right? So no, it could be that, right? So it could be all of those, right? So now together with the hero, right? Together with the hero actually represent a person reputation, the namesake of the person, right? So you know, it could be an end of a chapter of you being you know, at that particular level of fame, right? The level of fame, that particular level of thing. This group of people that you've been working very closely with could be the end of you working with this group of people. Now, end of working with this group of people doesn't mean anything, right? Every project come to an end. Whether the project is a good project, whether the project is a bad project, it will come to an end eventually, right? So that is what it happens. So it's time for you to move on to the next level of the project. So that is what the hexagram is talking about. Advancement is basically time for you to move on to the next project of things. So it will go into not yet accomplished. Although you are advancing to a new level, it doesn't mean that whatever that you have built at the onset of things is actually in the end, right? So not yet accomplished means that there are still certain stuff that you need to handle, right? So same thing with, you know, any sort of relationship separation. It doesn't mean that you separate, everything's end, There are still a lot of things that probably you need to take care of in terms of the relationship. So this one is basically an end with a bit of a lingering things at the back that you need to handle. Right, so depending on the situation and circumstance that you're in, right? So but main thing is that if this is your destiny palace, you are in a state whereby you will be accepting an end. Right, your thinking pattern is that, you know, okay, I know I had enough already, enough of this already. I think this is, you know, the end of the road, you know, time to make a bit of a conclusion on what is basically happening right now, right? So, you know, that's what your thinking pattern is basically going. So, you know, depending on what you are ending right now, okay, right? So, you know, if there are certain relationship, you know, that is already rocky, not nice one, right? So take this month to basically draw a conclusion. Pretty simple, right? So let's go to the east, right? So the east looks scary with everything black color, right? So, you know, general, what we call protocol that we use is red color seems good, black color seems bad, right? So that's general protocol, but not necessarily that's how you do some reading. So especially when you have the grain star, the grain star always attached with sickness. But grain star is not just sickness, please. Sickness is just one small component of the grain star, but we often overblown the entire situation, right? So because why? A lot of people are, you know, they are very sensitive with the word sickness, right? So no, but the funny thing is that health is one of the things that we take for granted the most. Right, yeah, so talking health to people is like the major waste of time in people, because most people are healthy. Right, so when you're talking about health to a healthy person is waste of time. It's like talking food to a person who just had a meal. Waste time, right? So, you know, whatever nice food you talk about also no use, buffalo is already full, right? So you take a look at it, you know, green star together with fear and together with moon is that you got certain sickness that you are worried of, that, you know, you don't know where it is. Moon is basically concealment, by the way. Right, so moon is talking about concealment, right? So it's certain sickness that you're worried about and you are concealing these entire things, maybe from other people, right? So depending on what is the situation, but definitely there are certain things that you are worried about that you are hiding. All right, so the worried about that you are basically hiding the information right now. So information that you know, you don't want people to know about, or, you know, it's just a plain old called denial, right? So plain old called denial, right? So, but definitely is something that you need to take a look, right? So now the arriving basically means that, you know, the thing that you have been avoiding right now is catching up, right? So whatever information that you're trying to conceal, right? So, you know, it's basically catching up right now. Right, so and then because this catch up is able to come out already, it actually would help alleviate the situation and the stress. So the key point here is that it's for you to understand the signal that is coming to you. It's not for you to fear and run away from the signal. Right, it's an entire thing about understanding the end. That's what the moon is for. So the moon is for you to do quiet observation. That's what the moon does, you know, it observes the situation, it sees all, you know, it understands all. That's basically the moon. So certain information is coming to you right now. You shouldn't be running away from the information. You should study the information, research the information, find out what is basically happening with the information that's given to you. Right, so for some people, this condition can be very scary. I said, oh no, I don't want to do blah blah blah. You know, I don't want to find out about this sort of stuff. You know, can't this be, you know, just be good? No, sorry lah, no lah. You are forced to face the situation, right? Just find out what is basically happening lah. That's all. No, it could be nothing, right? It could be nothing, right? So if you take a look at the stem, is both water stem. So your health problem could be a water related issue. Right, water related issue is many things. Please, you know, don't try to identify what is water related. There's many sickness that has to do with water related matter. Right, so take care of yourself, right? So especially those that who already have sickness, right? So the green star basically amplify this particular place, right? So be careful with it, right? So let's take a look at southeast. You know, southeast half. Snake together with pillar, right? So this definitely is a sign of miscommunication, major purposely miscommunicate. Right, so together with the green dragon broken feet around, so it's basically a big personal mistake. Right, so with the open door, not a lot of information is basically coming to you, right? So you receive a lot of information, You receive a lot of opportunity and tips, but most of the opportunity and tips is basically wrong. Right? So your job, if you take a look at the hexagram eliminating, as the name suggests, you need to know how to filter stuff. Now people go, then how do I filter things? If you ask question, how do you filter things, right? Tai say, because you do not have a framework of filtering to begin with, then suddenly you ask people, which means that you have zero experience in the thing that you are doing. Right? Only people who have zero experience doesn't know how to do filtering. Right? So if you know how to eat food, you would have known what food is tasty. Simple enough, right? You're asking people, how do I know if the food is tasty? This question cannot be answered, right? You have never tried that sort of food before, or you have never tried enough those sort of food before. You cannot do a differentiation. Right. So the grade exceeding is actually telling you that your knowledge is actually too wide apart. It is actually not really a good thing. Just tell you first, right? So eliminating with grade exceeding is that it's telling you that your ability to discern between information is pretty weak, right? So this combination is basically telling you that you're basically a sucker, right? So if you know that that's the situation, right? First thing, don't be greedy. Free enough, right? First thing, don't be greedy. Don't be that particular naive little fella that people tells you that this is gonna make money. Oh, it's gonna make money, and I'm gonna jump myself in. Right? You don't have the capability to basically do the what we call evaluation of what is basically happening. All right. So this pretty open, right? So now if you suddenly know somebody who is Southeast, right? So somebody Destiny Palace is Southeast, subjected to this particular energy, right? If you are trying to pull a fast one on this particular person, very easily done, right? Very easily done. Or you want to be more what we call strategic and tactical with this, right? So in the office, you go and find your Southeast sector. You put that particular colleagues of yours that you want to get the fella into trouble. You put him in that particular sector, right? So the fella mindset will be a little bit more naive, open to suggestion from people around. Right, yeah, that's how you strategically use the particular things, right? Now, for you yourself, of course, you don't go and purposely put yourself in the Southeast and then blame people for scamming you. All right, so because you are the one who's subjecting yourself to the energy of them, right? So it causes you to basically have this sort of mindset or thoughts, right? So be careful, right? So be super careful with this particular combination, right? So and then you have the South. Right, South look the most prominent for this particular month with the Chief. Right, so we love Chief. We basically love Chief, right? So a lot of time when you see Chief, it's like, Chief is the best. Chief is the best. Right, so and then together with Heart is the management decision-making star. Right, so that's what the Heart is. So Chief together with the management decision star is a very powerful what we call decision-making, convincing, combination, right? So let's take a look at the hexagram. Now, litigation hexagram doesn't mean getting into law. Please, a lot of people see litigation. They have the thought of, I'm going to get sued by people. Now, litigation here is talking about sending letter between two parties. In the olden day, you want to talk to official, you need to talk to official government people. You cannot walk in and talk to them because why? They are very afraid of getting murdered by people. Yeah, they don't want to see real life people, right? So because they are in a position which is very dangerous, right? A lot of people want to do harm to them. So what they do is that, they build this particular way of, you want to talk to me, you have to send letter. That is basically what litigation is, right? So litigation means that it's a long process of chit-chatting with each other, right? So that's the easiest for you to know. And if you go for court of law, that's what court of law do lah. No, submit paper, submit paper, submit paper, submit paper, submit paper, submit paper, submit paper. If you take a look at court of law, is what they do, They, have to file in. That's what the court of law do. So that's why the litigation is very highly attached to the law side. It doesn't mean that you will get sued by people, but getting sued by people could be part and parcel of the month, right? So when the litigation things is there, right? So the rest don't mean that you're a bit lazy. Restore is actually a bit lazy, right? So Restore is a bit chill, right? So it's a bit chill situation, right? So overall, if you take a look at it, it's pretty good, right? It's pretty good, right? So if you are trying to convince people, especially if you're trying to convince people and you got all the time in the world, basically telling you you will eventually convince this particular person. You will eventually change this particular person's mindset, right, through the lengthy, right, litigation, right? So no, through the lengthy litigation. So also at the same time is that you need to know that this is going to be a lengthy process. So when this is going to be a lengthy process, you have to ask yourself that pertinent question: worth it or not? Is this particular person, this particular individual, this particular activity that you're gonna put your time in, is it something that's worth it? Are you wasting your time? Could you have taken the exact same time, effort, and also resources and put it into a different activity? That one you have to ask yourself. Okay, right? So that one is to decide for yourself. But if your intention is to really convince the other party to your side, this is a very, very good combination. So people who have South Destiny Palace, this particular month, they are a bit more convincing. Right, they are a bit more convincing and they are more willing to invest in time into convincing you. Right, so aka also called naggy. Right, so up to you how you want to use this situation. Right, so Southwest, let's take a look at Southwest. Southwest got heaven and also grass. Right, so heaven, grass, and life door. This sort of combination usually has a lot to do with expanding business to a different horizon. Right, so the grass is actually talking about business. Right, so grass is actually risk taking, by the way. Right, in the olden day, the grass belonged to the northern side. Northern side is to explore the sea. Right, explore the sea, build commerce relationship. That's all grass. Right, so no, it's a very, by the way, exploring the sea is a very dangerous activity. So that's why it's very high risk. It is also the main way of establishing commerce between two places. Right, so you want to trade, the what we call East India trading route, all those kind of things. Right, so heaven is talking about future resources. Heaven is talking about future resources. It's talking about far apart places. Right, so life door a lot has to do with money making and all this. Right, so now can you see that this one has a lot to do with adventuring outward, right, towards a new horizon in terms of trying to make a profit out of the situation. Right, so if you take a look at the hexagram, right, the hexagram tell you it's obstruction, which means that the entire process is going to be difficult, right? So and then it's going to be opposition, right? So which means that even if you get everything done, right, it's still going to be very, very difficult. Because why the stem combination is the phoenix diving. Phoenix diving is a suicide combination, which means that this particular trip of going out, if you yourself are not very careful, your expectation is not aligned, this could be a very you could be plunging yourself into a very difficult situation. This is called somebody who is overly optimistic of the future. Right, somebody who is overly optimistic of the future. Right, so the lesson here is that life got disappointment. Simple. Life got disappointment. Right, you go there. Right, so then what happened is that don't go. No lah, because nowadays hardly any one of you will be attempting something dangerous, not like last time. Last time if you really decide that I shall go for a sea voyage, that could be the last voyage. That's last time. Like right now, hardly you do anything that is dangerous, but you need to tell yourself that if this time I participate in this particular activity, right, so I'm going to go on and take a look at what is the future as a whole. I need to have the feeling of I am already ready to lose all this thing already, right? Cantonese 講衰得起先至好去, right? So I'm ready to lose all this stuff already. When I go into this particular thing, I'm ready to do this stuff, and I'm ready to learn my lesson. Okay, right? So be careful of things that is too good to be true, right? So west side, take a look at it now. West side also have the Earth and Ambassador. By the way, Earth and Ambassador both also is wealth related energy, right? So they are wealth related energy itself, right? So just now 9 heaven is talking about future resources. Earth is talking about current resources, right? So it's talking about generating income using the resources that you already have at this current moment. So coupled with harm door, again in the olden day, harm door means going to attack people. Your resources is generated by means of attacking people, right? So today we convert this into sales related matter, right? So sales and sales related matter. So which means sales activity, you can utilize current resources to generate more resources for yourself, right? So this one is very good for those people who are actually doing sales, right? So if you take a look at the hexagram, nourish means spend some time to understand your customer, understand your market. And then after that, you'll be able to present a more beautiful version of the story that you have, about your products to the market, right? So, this one is basically talking about the case of being patient to really understand your market, right? So you want to do good in sales, you want a business sales to be good. The first thing is that you need to understand your market, right? So you want to see sunrise, early morning, need to climb mountain, okay, right? So that's the things, right? So careful of lack of patience, right? Careful of lack of patience, because the harm door usually has to do with speed, right? So people who are subjected to harm door usually is a bit more impatient and whatever. But a lot of things happen, they have their, in and out. So you better take care of the particular situation. But pretty much it's a good palace if you are talking about, I want to expand my sales skill set. Right, today I want to expand my sales skill set, I want to make more money, right? So this is a good palace for you to use. So which means that for those people who have Destiny Palace in the West, this particular month they have a better idea, right? Better way of thinking in terms of how can I use my current resources into generating more income in terms of making sales, right? So Northwest, last palace, Northwest are all black color. Die lah, all black color. Right, so okay, right. So this particular month is you have the tortoise and delusion combination together, right? It's actually is a state. It's a state whereby you are in a very deep own self bubble, right? Own self bubble. Tortoise is actually very good at obscuring information. Right, so that's why tortoise, a lot of time we associate it with liars, people who are not very truthful, right? So delusion door has to do with hiding, right? So not truthful fella, hiding stuff, very normal, right? But lucky for you, there's a destruction door there, right? So which means that things that has been hiding, things that is inside the delusion is basically gonna go through a destruction phase. So it's gonna break. You're gonna wake up from your own delusion. Right, you're gonna wake up from your own delusion. You're gonna be faced with the hard truth of what basically is happening out there, right? So it could be a sad thing for some people, who are in a stage of whereby it's a bit more hiding or more delusion or lying to themselves. It could be a sad state. But for most people who are okay with facing the hard truth, it's good. It's good to be in this situation. Right, so it's confusing, right? Now consistency here is basically talking about the process will basically go through until you wake up. Unfortunately, with the great exceeding means that it is actually a very difficult process. So this entire palace is really not very pleasant to be in, right? So which means that those of you who have Destiny Palace in the Northwest is going to be facing with some difficulty of accepting that the current circumstance that you're in is probably inflicted by yourself, right? So you are in a state of denial, do not want to accept that it is you who are the one who causes the problem. But what happened is that the external change, which means that every single thing that you have been blaming right now, right, has been gone already, and you're still in the same state. Right? So a lot of people like to blame things on outside. When things happen, it was this fault, but all this fault right now is already changed or moved on already. You are still in the same state. So who else to blame than yourself? Right? Difficult to accept for some people. Yes. Right? But it's time for you to do that particular acceptance and move out of the situation that you place yourself in. All right. That's it for this particular month's achievement, all 6 of them, right? So if you want a quick conclusion, it seems like South and West in this particular setup seems to be the most ideal place for you to be in if you want to, right? So strategically, you may want to work more in the south side of your office, your house, or you want to work more in the west side of your office or your house. Just to help so that the energy will augment your mindset, so that it will align your mindset into the correct destination, right? So correct things, right? So that's how you use the energy that is available, right? So you want to change a person's mindset a bit. All right, guys, that's it, right? So see you guys again when I see you guys again. So there's still one more feng shui one we haven't done yet, so we'll be doing that next. Okay guys, bye, see ya.